Streets of Cincinnati, welcome to the jungle! Let's go. Stripes, 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 yeah. Stripes, 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 yeah. Stripes, 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 yeah. Orange in the day, black in the night. Stripes in our veins, sparks gonna fly. The beast is awake, orange, black and white. Cause when the jungle come alive, who day we ignite and Cincinnati, we gon' rise and in the jungle we unite and dripping orange and black and white. Who day when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Wake up the beast, every end day is a feast. Time to bust it off the leash. In the jungle dripping heat, tigers stripe the city streets. East side stand up, west side stand up. If you reppin' who day, time to put your hands up. Dingle stripes, we in it. New day, new age, yeah, we get it. Cincinnati jungle fitted. Who they in our house, we win it. Orange and black and white, we build it. Earn our stripes, you know we kill it. Bleed our colors, jungle dripping. Nasty, natty, yeah, we live it. Lit the crowd, get the city loud. Yeah, we feasting now. Fit the bounce, make the city howl. Now we beastin' now. Thunder through the tunnel, from the sideline to the huddle. Stripes we tatted on the jungle when we flex that who they muscle on them. Stripes, Cincinnati, we gon' rise and in the jungle we unite and dripping orange and black and white. All day when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Stripes. Now who gotta move like it on? Stripes. Now who wanna move crossing on? Stripes. Now who wanna move on? If you got stripes, then you let the city know you rock 'em. Yeah, we got 'em. Yeah, we fought 'em. Like that black and orange upon 'em. Bingo ball 'em. Never stop it till the beast and know 'em. Who they rockin' with the diamond stripes, flossing on the ring. Cincinnati, she's our queen. We gon' show the world who king. Orange in the day, black in the night. Stripes in our veins, sparks gonna fly. The beast is awake, orange, black and white. Cause when the jungle come alive, who day we ignite and Cincinnati, we gon' rise and in the jungle we unite and dripping orange and black and white. Who day when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Now who gotta move like it on? Now who wanna move crossing on? Now who wanna move on? Who day when we fight, live and die in these stripes.
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the show. This is Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm your host, the Iceman, Jeff Trunapole. And as always, I'm bringing you sports from a West Side point of view right here in the great city of Cincinnati, Ohio, home of the Cincinnati Reds, who are not going to have a normal opening day for the third straight year in a row because of Rob Manfred and the moron owners. Anyway, how you doing? If you found the show, hit that like and subscribe button. Smash that thumbs up. I'm up to 1,507 subscribers. That is awesome. As always, I appreciate every single one of you guys. So, if you guys are watching on Facebook or Twitter and you have yet to subscribe to my channel, why not? Go to the YouTube channel, Sports with Strawberry Ice. Hit the subscription button, hit the bell for the notification, and every time I go live, you'll be notified. Also, exclusively in the YouTube chat, we're doing super chat, so if you want to make sure your comment gets read, or if you have a question for my guest today is Andrew Fox Miller. He is the producer for James Rapine on most of his YouTube channel stuff. Give me a super chat. I would greatly appreciate it. And always, I'm coming to you live from the Ice Cave, and the Ice Cave is brought to you by T Properties. T Properties, quality housing for quality people. Check out their website at www.tpropertiesllc.com for all your rental property management needs and your rental needs. All right, well, it came down. We are not going to have baseball again for who the hell knows how long. They might not start till May. It might not start till August. I don't know. At this point, I don't know about you guys, but I don't really care anymore because, look, NFL is such a juggernaut. They've got me excited about the combine, which is watching guys run around in shorts and a T-shirt. I've been watching it all day, and nothing's actually happening. It's just guys talking. I'm trying to find out what the Bengals are doing. You know, got to fix the offensive line, all that stuff. Anyway, let's get to my guest. Andrew Fox Miller. Like I said, he's a producer for James Rapine on most of his channels. He's a good follow on Twitter, and he's a good guy. Check him out. Here's Andrew. Andrew, what's going on, brother?
Hey, how you doing?
Good, man. Good. Just enjoying that. Just kind of pissed off we're not gonna be baseball again, and whatever. We got combine, all that good stuff. You're not busy or anything, are you?
No, yeah. So, I am busy, but I'm happy to be here. I'll tell you that right now. I am not being yelled at by James right now.
He just full transparency. He's trying to edit something for James right now. So James, if you're watching, chill out. All right, Andrew's on my time right now. Okay. Just kidding. But yeah, he's multitasking for me right now because Duke Tobin came out and was talking about Jesse Bates and how he wants to extend them, and well, we all do too. And we don't want it franchise tagged and yada yada yada. And we're all hoping it happens sometime soon. But we got a week and a half left before I think they have to tag him. So I'm hoping they don't tag him. I don't know.
I mean, one thing's for sure. Jesse Bates will be here next season.
He's gonna be
whatever flavor you want out of that.
Yeah, he's not going anywhere. I mean, we're not gonna. I mean, hell, they can tag him for 2 years if they want to. So the next 2 years, he's not going anywhere. But I hope they don't do that. I prefer them to sign him. Sure. But we've been waiting for that. I thought he would get signed last year. To be honest, I really did think it was going to happen last year, but it didn't, and it rolled on to the season. And like I said, I talked to Troy Blackburn outside of practice one of these times early this summer. Mm-hmm. And he said, during the season, I'm like, yeah, sign Jesse Bates. And he's like, well, we want to. He's like, but, his agent wanted to wait till after the season and all this stuff, yada, yada, yada. I'm like, all right, cool. So when the season's over, get it done. Still waiting.
Yeah, it seemed straightforward. Then it seemed complicated. Then it seemed straightforward for a completely different reason during the regular season. And then it's still straightforward. I mean, I don't mean to, but at the same time, it does feel a little bit. I mean, we've seen this before. How many times have we seen this? Where it's just around the NFL in general. Mm-hmm. I have to think that I'm sure Jesse Bates has his own convictions, his own personal belief in himself and what he knows he's capable of. But I also think it's business, right? And how many times have we seen that, right? I think it'll work out.
Yeah, I think they will get something done because I think Jesse Bates wants to be here. The Bengals want him to be here. It's just a matter of figuring out the money. I mean, he's not going to be the highest paid safety in the league, nor does he deserve it. To be honest, after the season, like playoff Bates was awesome. If he'd done that during the season, then absolutely. But he didn't, unfortunately. And that's what the Bengals are going to hold against him, which they should. Like you said, it's a business, But Jesse Bates can say, hey, look what I did in the playoffs. And, you wouldn't have got to the Super Bowl if it wasn't for me, for playing like I did, which is right. So back and forth goes, there. And I don't know. I've heard some stuff, 13 million over 3 years, 15 million over 3 years. I don't know. I think it's going to get done, though.
I think it is. Speaking of business, I don't know about you, but and maybe this is me kind of showing my age and the era that was very impactful for me growing up watching this team. But every time I think about agents or just the business aspect of players negotiating, my mind immediately goes to that scene in Hard Knocks where Katie Blackburn is dealing with Andre Smith and all the every time I picture that moment of them trying to just get him to show up to training camp, I have no analysis behind that.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I mean? Like that's just the flash of my, I don't know if call it trauma, whatever you want to believe.
It's called being a Bengals fan for the last 30 years or however old you are.
that to me, I think it was one of the first times that I was just so frustrated and I got to see it. Mm-hmm. And look, looking back, I was just a crazy fan and I was just like, let's go.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know why. I guess every time I think about Jesse Bates, any of this, I think of that moment. That's what flashes my head. Like if you think of a certain color, if you get a certain emotion,
right, it triggers something. I deal with. Well, I mean, it's easy for us. We're fans, man. I mean, it's not our money. They go sign him, man. What's the holdup? He's one of the best safeties in the league. Go for it. But and this is where this is where the Bengals, just like they do with the offensive line, they don't pay for guards and they don't pay for safeties. This is what I think has to change for them. I think they're working on it, but I think it's hard for them to come to grips that they got to pay for them. Now, let's get to the offensive line, and I want to get to what Adam Pac-Man Jones tweeted out earlier today, and I don't know if you saw it or not, but he said that the Bengals are in talks with Ryan Jensen, to be the center. Now, who knows? It's Pac-Man, but I'll take it for what it were. That's what he said. So This kind of goes with what I've been saying the last couple weeks to sign Jensen, and they could move Trey Hopkins over to guard. And the reason I say that is because the Bengals don't pay for guards. They'll pay for a center and they'll pay for a tackle. So if they got Trey Hopkins, who's under contract for another year, and he's already played guard and he was okay, people's like, well, he was terrible there. Well, when he was at guard, the whole offensive line was terrible, So you got to kind of take it as a grain of salt. He was probably the best one on that offensive line. So if you move him to guard, then you have, I don't know, probably competition again at the other guard, which none of us want. But if you have an anchor at center and an anchor at your left and right tackles, which who knows, maybe they'll sign 2 tackles. I don't know. And they move Jonah Williams in, and you got Jonah and you got Hopkins at guard. I don't. I'm just throwing stuff out there. But my point is they spend money on tackles and they spend money on centers. So that's where I keep thinking that there's a chance that if they're going to spend money on something, it's going to be on a center and a tackle.
Yeah, I mean, I think ultimately the question becomes, I think in that scenario, that initial thought that you gave there with Pac-Man's projections, and if we move Trey over, I think all that's fine. I would question how, as long as we're not moving too many pieces.
Yeah, right.
Get everybody too shifted around too much. But yeah, I mean, everything checks out there. I don't know with this Pac-Man thing. I mean, like I saw the report, I heard the little snippet of it, and something about it feels off to me, and I can't pinpoint it. But we could talk about things that he just kind of said, but it's not even about that. I don't know. Is it the timing? I haven't even fully processed it, to be honest. So I guess we're doing that in this moment. Is it the timing of it? Does it feel a little too soon for him to be running his mouth about it? Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah. The thing is, I mean, he did a little video tweet or whatever. He goes, "You don't think people talk?" I'm like, of course, I'm sure players talk. I'm sure he's got somebody that Pac-Man can talk to that, he trusts or whatever. I mean, I believe that, could be a thing. But, is it going to be reality of what he's saying? I have no idea.
Well, it's not even I get players talk, but should Adam Jones be talking right now publicly about it? That's what I'm wondering.
Well,
I
he's
don't
got
even
a
know all the
podcast
rules
now, so,
to be honest.
Right. He's got his own podcast now, to Believe Network, with him and Solomon Wilcox. So, I mean, maybe he's trying to promote that some more. I don't know.
Yeah. I this is the fun period of time. I guess it depends on what you enjoy. If you consider it punishment or something enjoyable, with all the rumors swirling, with all the projections and people just changing it left and right. I mean, this week will be one thing, next week will be another, especially when it comes to the draft. But I'm sure, and I've heard others mention this. I've heard people that have come on here mention this. I still agree. We're March 1st. We're in a new month.
Mm-hmm.
And I still feel the Super Bowl hangover.
Yeah, I know. Dude, and that's what's killing. I tweeted this out of watching NFL Network today, and every 5 seconds I'm seeing the Rams Super Bowl commercial. I'm like, I'm so done. I don't want to see that anymore. I'm like, I want to watch the NFL. I don't care about the Rams, and like, oh my god, we're still in the Super Bowl hangover. But the thing that's cool about it is we played the longest season in NFL history. I mean, we had the Super Bowl. Now, 2 weeks later, it's the combine. Then before you know, it's going to be free agency. Then before you know, it's going to be the draft. And then before you know, it's going to be mini camp. And then we're back in the season again. I mean, that's the cool part about playing as long as we did. It sucks we lost, but that's the cool part about what happened last year.
Well, and I think that's just it, right? Like there's that hangover element. There's trying to move forward, and you're being forced to, which is a good thing. Let's call it healthy.
Yeah, you have to.
But at the same time, you can't help us and sit back and small victories, right? Like, it's like, look at us not ready for the what's to come because of how busy we were in the postseason.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the funny thing is like, dude, like last, I don't know what, 10 years we would start, or at least last 5, we'd start looking at the draft in like December. And people keep asking me about the draft. I'm like, well, the way the Bengals have attacked this offseason the last couple of years, I don't know what they're going to do in the draft, because to me, it depends on what they do in free agency. And that's kind of the way it was last year, because I was on the Chase bandwagon, but I wasn't on that until they signed Riley Reif. Once they got Reif, I'm like, okay, now we can go get Chase. And that's where I am kind of this year. If we get the offensive line fixed in free agency, then I say go draft defense in the draft, but best player available, because like I can't remember who said on here, but the defense we have we fix it through free agency. They're all not going to stay. We're going to lose these guys eventually, and we got to have people to replace them. So I think it's going to be kind of reversed. Like last couple of years has been free agency, and defense. I think this year's going to be free agency, not necessarily offense, but just the offensive line in general. And then the draft is going to be defense. And I would love to get Wyatt from, I think I'm saying his name, from Georgia, that 3 tech. I think I'm saying his last name right. He would be, if he's there, he'd be perfect. But I don't know. It depends on what they're going to do in free agency.
And I'm also curious to see how free agency is going to impact how aggressive they get in the draft. I don't know that I expect them to, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, like 31 is a spot that we're not really used to being in the draft. And how do they adjust to that, right? To be the first, like their first overall pick of the draft. So, does that give, do they want to use any leverage? Do they want to trade back? Do they want to trade forward? I think it could be I don't know. Again, look at us.
Well, put it this way, there's a very good chance the Bengals would trade back just in their history. I mean, them trade. Some people say, well, maybe they trade up and get a Leinenbach or whatever. I don't see them doing that. I especially when they can fix it in free agency, and I can totally see them trading out of 31 if they fix it free. Trade out of 31, get another second round pick, another third round pick, and going that route, because there's still going to be guys in the early second round to late second round that you could come in, they could be impact players for us.
Absolutely. And I'm sure you've thought this, and I'm sure others have said it, but when you think about the Bengals offseason and free agency specifically, as a fan, how often do you get these sort of wild, fantastical ideas, and then it just kind of not disappoint? I mean, sure, it disappoints at times, but it the end result is a bit deflating. It feels like all of a sudden we're not big players. And now look at where we're at now. And I'm sure you've reflected upon this, but obviously last offseason in the free agency, what they ultimately came away with, especially on defense. But I just love all the new, what's the word I'm trying to look for here? How many times were we tested as a fan base throughout the regular season, throughout the postseason, on just shaking what we were used to, right? And to go through that little exercise.
PTSD.
Exactly.
Go again. Yeah, I got you. Keep going.
It's familiar, yet still uncomfortable. And we had to get through that discomfort, and it came out with much different results than we could have ever expected in many ways. And I think, right, wrong, or indifferent, as far as the free agency, time frame is going to go for us as a fan base, it could end up the same way. I don't want to say quiet. It could end up just being, I don't know, there aren't these big blockbuster moves, and not that we expect that, but there aren't the filling the key areas, the gaps that we expect anyone should be able to see they should do. I don't think that will happen, but if it did, it's still processing all that and saying, they've done so well up to this point. Now I kind of have to shift my thinking. Now I kind of have to, I'm going to question it. We have to, but I don't know. There's been so much of just defying expectations in the best possible way that when it becomes a familiar exercise again, I don't know how I'm going to handle it. Does that make any sense?
No, I get what you're saying. I can kind of roll that to free agency last year, because they went all into a certain point. They went all in on defense. They got Riley Reef. They didn't go all in on a guard. Kevin Zeitler was there. They could have got him, gave him a little bit more money. Like James even came on my show, and he says he knows for a fact that Zeitler wanted to come back here, but Baltimore offered him so much more money, it was ridiculous. And that's where this year the Bengals, to me, have to be all in. They have to fix the offensive line. They have to. They know what they have in Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow could be the best quarterback in Bengals history. And that's for at least one guy should be in the Hall of Fame, Kenny Anderson, Boomer Esiason. Both those guys took us to the Super Bowl. Say what you want about Andy Dalton. He took us to 5 straight playoffs. He was a good quarterback. But I mean, he's the best one we've ever had. I think he's the best one we might ever have. And that's how important this is. They have to be all in. They can't just go, all right, we're going to go get a right tackle and we're going to find something with the guards. Which, I mean, everybody say, well, that's what you're saying they're going to do with Jensen. But I look at it a little differently. If you get Jensen and you get a tackle, say we get a right tackle, a good right tackle. To me, if you have a anchor at center and an anchor at your tackles, that makes your guards better, you know. And Trey Hopkins, I think, could be a solid guard. Now, you could get Spain back at the other guard. And the other thing, Jackson Carman and Deontay Smith could take a jump like Logan Wilson did this year. You know, from your rookie year to your next year could be a big jump. I don't want the Bengals to count on that, but I could see them doing that. That's where I'm at. But I would prefer them to go sign, you know, a center, guard, and a tackle and forget it. It's fixed. That would be great.
It seems so straightforward, right? I mean, and then you think about your own gut reaction, your own instinct as a, just us just sitting here, like me in my basement, just like, oh, I wish Bengals should do this and that. And
it's easy for us.
And sometimes you question yourself naturally, but then and this is probably not healthy, but I can't help but go back to really the last offseason and coming out of the last regular season, even when we're like, you're going to do something about that offensive line. We're all asking it. We're all calling it out, not to just drudge it all up again, but at the same time, we all saw it. And look, they got to the Super Bowl, right? It's not like we saw the defects. They, I think, saw those defects and they persevered despite it, of course. But now they're going to go out there and build that thing. They're doing the very thing we were asking them to do the last offseason. So I guess my point is that when you sit there and you say, like, we sit there and we go, look, okay, I just got to add one here, do two there. I can't help but think about a little empowered by the fact that we're all like, what about that offensive line? And now they're like, yeah, we got to do something about that offensive line.
Right, exactly. I'll get the Matt Crenshaw's here comment. It's pretty good. He's not trying to be funny, but this is very well might be Mike Brown's final Super Bowl window of his life. He better go all in. LOL. And I think Mike Brown realizes that. And that's where Mike's come out and said they're going to do, I don't know, everything they can or what they can to support Joe Burrow, however he said it. And I really do believe, Mike Brown he wants to win a Super Bowl. Everybody who owns a team wants to win a Super Bowl. Like I said, I think there's been times where Mike Brown didn't know or wasn't willing to do everything he could to do it. I have a feeling that this is the time that he does. I'm not saying we're going to go out and sign Armstead and we're going to go out and get Orlando Brown, the two best tackles in free agency. I'm not saying we're going to do that, but right. I think we're going to get. I keep hearing so much noise about a center. I do think it's going to be a center. I really do think it's going to be another tackle, and it might possibly be a guard. And if they do that, if they go get Colbert from the Rams, that's fine. And say Morgan Moses, who I think is more of along the lines of where the Bengals might sign a right tackle, or Reef again. You never know. But that's kind of along the line where I think they're going. I really do think they have a chance, and they're going to get three of them. And then the guard position is going to be a competition between, I think it's going to be Jackson Carman and Deontay Smith, because I do think they believe that they can be our future guards. And like you said, we take one jump from 1 year to the next. But all right, Andrew, let's just say they sign Ryan Jensen, Colbert, and they sign Moss or Moses. I'm saying his name wrong. And they got a competition at the other guard. And Jonah Williams is your left tackle. Would you be okay with that, or would that not be enough?
When you say not enough, are you saying to field starters, like everything after that's just depth?
Like, well, yeah. Would you want? Could you still have a competition at guard? Is what I'm saying. And one of it would still be a competition, or would you just want? I know everybody wants a plug and play guy, but I can't see us getting four.
No,
can't. Which I say the competition would be Trey Hopkins, Deontay Smith, and Jackson. That would be the competition, I think. So it'd be three of them.
Yeah, I have to wonder. In that scenario, I'm okay. I'm okay in that scenario. It goes back to we're shifting a bit, not a ton.
Mm-hmm.
Are we comfortable with proven commodities? We assume, right, that are going in and actually executing at a position that they've at least played at some point in their career. And in that scenario, yeah, I'm okay with that. Now, we have existing players, of course, on this roster right now that I assume, are going to be able to fill in a healthy part-time amount if needed.
Right.
And then I would still want a little bit of depth, maybe through the draft, and get a little competition going there. But overall, I think in that scenario, and we've mentioned a few of them, Joe Burrow's like just the from a percentage standpoint of just improvement because of the ability that he's going to be able to 2 reads on average would be amazing, right?
What if he gets his third one? What if he actually has time to get his third read? I'm like, dude, that's what's scary about this. That's what I'm hoping we get to. I'll get Brandon here. He wants to. We talked about Pac-Man Jones. Yeah, we talked about that earlier. That goes to how I started the show, where he's kind of saying what I've been saying, that I want to sign Jensen, and he didn't say move Hopkins over to guard, but that's kind of what I've been saying. And like I said, we don't know if it's true, but I mean, like I said, Pac-Man knows more people in the NFL than we do, so maybe he's right. I don't know. We'll see. So what you got? What are you working on for James here? Can I get some breaking news? You know, that you can. I know you're gonna post it to the channel anyway. We're just gonna push people to James's channel.
Yeah, so it's actually being posted right now. The so for the I guess I'll add a little context. So yeah, a lot of my history with James Rapine really is that we've known each other for a number of years, and we've worked on a number of different projects over time. When he kind of was brought on with All Bengals through Sports Illustrated, we had a conversation about that. I had some time where I was writing for Cincy Jungle. I did some fantasy football writing for SB Nation, and he and I were, again, friends for years. So he asked if I wanted to be come on board, help out, maybe just get some things stood up. And that was originally the plan. And then for one reason or another, COVID, this and that, things just kind of changed to where I was very involved in video work. And I kind of saw the opportunity in that platform of, hey, let's kind of do something with that space, with the access that you have to various things that we have out there. So we kind of collaborated, and that's where we started the Cincinnati Bengals Talk channel. And today, at least, we are doing, we're covering some things with the Combine. And Duke Tobin, he went out there, he spoke to everyone. I have yet to even watch that footage at the podium, but he also did a little aside with some of the media, and James was able to get some of that. I think there's a good 14, 15 minutes, and it posted 20 seconds ago. So yeah, it's out there. And
watch my show and then go look at it.
Please. Yeah. There's no, it's not as time sensitive. Yeah. It's not going anywhere within the, by end of day.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, but yeah, no, it's we do a lot of again, taking advantage of the fact that James is able to. It's a medium that he hasn't done a ton with from a on-demand standpoint through YouTube, and he's got his background in broadcasting, of course. But it's been fun. It's been a year now. He and I just kind of started it. So.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, I watch you guys and try to find out stuff to talk about, to be honest. I mean, I steal you guys' stuff all the time because I don't have the access. I mean, I'm just the crazy guy on the bridge that can watch practice, and I go to the games. I don't have the access James does. So that's why I love what you guys do. I think it's very, very informative. And I called James, he was on my show last week. I call him Mr. Bengal Informationalist.
I saw that.
Came up with that word. But it's true. If you want to know what's going on with the Bengals, check out James. He's more locked in than anybody, I think.
Totally. Yeah. And look, I mean, I think that's where I think there was a value in just looking at it from a bigger picture, from a Bengals fan base standpoint. There are great channels in the world of YouTube, of course, podcasting, right? But even let's stick with YouTube for a moment here. There's great channels, and this very channel, it's driven by that sort of, it's a whole different animal, the energy of a fan, the observations of a fan. And I certainly didn't want to enter that space. And that's where I would have, if it was just me. Right. And I kind of said, what if we just do something that no one's really doing, so we can kind of complement all of that. And that's kind of what we did. And I think it kind of fits in nicely with a lot of the great content that's out there. Not even really directly competing with it. It just kind of, again, it's a supplement to all,
that's
all
one thing
that's out there.
To me about this YouTube stuff, I don't think anybody competes with anybody.
Sure.
Because you can watch it I'm live now, but hell, you can watch it tomorrow. You can watch it tonight. You can watch it whatever you want. It's on demand. You can go watch the stuff you just posted with James on your guys' channel. Then you can turn around and watch mine. So I never look at it as competition, because I mean, you like Locked On Bengals is only a half hour. I'm on for an hour at the most. James does, it's 20 minutes or whatever, so nothing is in direct competition. It's all the same thing. We're all trying to get as much information out there as we can about our favorite team. I mean, you guys cover them. some people say I cover them. I don't really cover them. I'm just a fan. That's very.
I don't know.
passionate.
You've got a. I like the bridge move. I like when you go out there and kind of guerrilla style. Just that's fun. I
Oh, it's a
like that
blast.
angle.
Well, the funny thing is, first time I started doing it, I just started, videoing all practice, and then, then the Bengals came and said, "Have you been videoing the whole thing?" I'm like, "Yeah."
I
Can
was
you
wondering
take
about
that
that.
down? I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Ah.
So then I figured out the first 15 minutes or whatever I could once I see James and all those guys leave, then I gotta stop videoing, so I can just sit there and watch it for myself. So, but
I will
yeah,
say that and you're living this right now too. I mean, I 10 years ago, what year is it now? 10 years ago, 9 years ago, I suppose. I was doing stuff with Cincy Jungle. I was blown away by, especially when they came from Georgetown and they were doing practices in Cincinnati in training camp.
mhm.
I was blown away by the level of access that we had as somebody that isn't at that time. Of course, we wasn't media credentialed. I couldn't just walk out and talk to a player or whatever, but I could go out on the field. That was the one time of the year where I felt like I could go out there and document things. I could go out there and get little clips of something and write about it and put a little observation out there. And it's a really cool time for anyone that's a fan, whether you want to cover them or not, to go out there and see what's happening. And I will say that, doing that for a couple of years, that was really a big instrumental, I would say, in my sort of desire to talk about this team and cover that. It got a lot of attention, and I was like, anybody can come here.
Yeah,
But the fact that
that's what I tell
just
everybody.
doing that effort it's really great.
Well, I mean, the cool thing is too. I mean, if you watch, I mean, I think most of Bengals, they don't know my name. They know there's that guy up on the bridge again or whatever. They see me as I walk in and out of practice, and they recognize me. But the cool thing is sometimes you can actually interact with them as they're walking. It might be 2 seconds walking back to practice or walking. It's easier after they're walking back from practice because they're more willing to talk. So you can ask them some stuff, and that's like I said, I got to talk to Duke Tobin and ask him stuff. So I found out different things just by going and just talking to them, so it's kind of cool of how, and the Bengals players for the most part are pretty friendly. So is the Blackburns. I mean, Katie's come up and talk to me. Elizabeth has come up and talked to me. I mean, they're normal people. That's what I try to, they're not the uppity look their nose down at you or anything. They'll talk to you. It's kind of cool of how they treat you. And they're like, "You're down here again?" Cause I saw Zach at the last party they had at Washington Park, and he was there, and I actually got his autograph, and I said, "Hey, I'll be back up on the bridge, when you guys start up." And he looked dead at me. He goes, "I know you will." So I'm like, I smacked my son. I said, "See, he knows who I am."
Oh, that's great.
Anyway, you said you got to get out of here about 6:00. It's 6:02. You need to run.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I probably do need to go. You talk about kids. Mine are going to be rushing in here at any moment, and they'll be stomping above my head, and it's going to be hard to concentrate. But hey, look, yeah, I appreciate you having me on, and it's going to be Bengals coverage in general here, all over the place. It's going to be combine is a fun time. So this week especially, it's going to be fun to hear some of the takeaways, some of what they're measuring out there. The 40 is always fun.
Yep.
And I don't know. Things are going to really swell after this as far as conversations about the draft, but that free agency is just going to jump right in there.
I can't get past the free agency. That's where I'm at.
I know.
That's
look at us. Look at us.
I know. Oh my God, I can't wait. And the thing is, like 4 years ago, I would have never even paid attention to free agency because the Bengals didn't sign anybody. Now, like, oh, we are. So, Sunday I'll be down at the combine. I have a ticket, but free. Did you know they're giving away free tickets? It's free. I didn't ever do the combine was free.
So I didn't know they had transitioned to that. I remember a handful of years ago, you would put in for like a sort of like a lottery system, and you'd get your ticket. They'd have a selected group of people, and I did that twice. And but yeah, I didn't know about it being wide open. Now.
I got to 5 free tickets. So me, my son, my brother-in-law, and my nephew are all going to go. And I think one of my buddies from work are all going to go. So it's gonna be a fun time. Like I said, I've never went there, and this might be they're talking about this might be the last year in Indy because they're probably going to move it around. It's going to become a big thing like the draft. They're going to make it even bigger, and yada yada yada. So
it's a good time. I don't know how they're going to treat everyone when it's just wide open like that, but when we had it, the lottery system, you could get lunch and things like that, and you get a little earpiece, and you get a Marshall Falk talking to you or something about what's going on the field. So yeah, NFL Network. We'll see how it goes this year. I would be curious to know your thoughts when you go through it, and maybe share it with everyone here. What that experience is like from your perspective, because that's the kind of stuff I enjoy. Even if it's just going through Paul Brown Stadium and here's all the things they've improved. That's the stuff that I like seeing. And for a combine, not many people get to go. Not many people get that viewpoint. So it's going to be really cool.
Yeah, we're definitely going to put a video together of it. And my editor is my son. He's not as I told him, you got to edit it quicker so I can get this stuff out, because I like, if I edit it, it's on iMovie and it looks really cheesy. I'm like, he's got all the same equipment, everything you do. He can make it look really cool. So we're gonna hopefully put together a really cool video of our trip, what we saw, and things like that. So it should be pretty cool. We'll find out.
Oh, I hope you're as appreciative of his work as.
James, dude,
I was about to make a joke about James being difficult.
James doesn't appreciate you, Andrew. We all know that.
Right.
We know he doesn't appreciate you. All right, Andrew, man, I appreciate you coming. I'm glad we tried to do this back in November. But that's when I got COVID, so I was off the air for like 2 weeks. So as I said, dude, I'm sick. I can't get you on, so I'm glad we're able to make this happen now.
No, that's awesome. Appreciate it, and look forward to seeing your experience at Lucas Oil. So
sounds good, brother. All right, man, take it easy.
You too, man.
See ya. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. Like I said, Andrew does a great job on James's channel. And me and him have talked back and forth through Twitter and different things. So I was like, hey, he'd be kind of a cool guy to have on and get a different perspective of things. I was just trying to get different voices on there from different people, and just stuff like that. Haas, he said, I'm enjoying all the podcast information and passion from the team. I love Who Day. Andrew, Iceman, and all Who Day Nation. And that's one thing I'm curious. I'm sure other NFL teams have as many podcasts or whatever as we do. I know ours are starting to blow up because, well, let's be honest, the Bengals went to the Super Bowl. So it's kind of cool covering it now because the Bengals are turning into a cool team. I mean, we were cool when we had Chad and Carson and all that, but we never won anything. We're cool and we won stuff this year. So anyway, we'll see what happens. Like I said, the draft's coming up. I'm excited to go down there. I guess we are going to put a video together. It will be up hopefully as soon as we get, probably not Sunday night. Hopefully sometime Monday it'll be up and you guys can watch it. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I can't wait to get there. And that goes to what I'm just saying with as I started the show. It's baseball is announced that the season, the first two series are canceled. Okay. Does anybody care? I mean, literally, we're here in where professional baseball started. City of Cincinnati. That's first professional baseball team. We have opening day parade. People have said this for years. It should be a holiday. Yada yada yada. You're telling me we're going to go 3 years without a normal opening day, and 3 years without a freaking parade? And they're saying if they skip the two first years, we're going to start in Atlanta. Now somebody said the last time they did that, we won the World Series in 1990. I said, yeah, but that was a lot better team. We had pitching and hitting, and a lot better team. But I mean, not that this team. I mean, I think this team, if they play, is going to be a 500 team. I don't think we're going to. Well, hell, they get 14 teams. Maybe we'll make the playoffs. I don't know. But either way, it's just the baseball can't get out of its own way. I just don't understand it. And football is such a juggernaut. Like I said, I'm literally excited to go watch guys in T-shirts and shorts run the 40, see how high they can jump, weight lift. It's a show. One of the biggest shows around is the draft, and you're just sitting there watching a guy walk up on stage and announce people. That's all the draft is. But the NFL's made it such a big experience. It's so much fun. I guarantee you that's what they're about to do with the combine when they start moving it around. Maybe after next year, maybe this year's last year in Indy. I don't know. But it's just football does such a better job of promoting their sport than baseball does. Baseball can't get out of its own way. I mean, what baseball should have been working on this year is how to fix the game. Because right now it's boring. You sit there and you're just waiting for a guy to hit a 3-run homer. There's no bunting. There's no hitting a run. There's no hitting behind the player, the runner. None of that stuff. That's what makes baseball more fun is action on the field, things happening, ball in play. If it's a strikeout or a home run, it's boring to watch sometimes. And I love baseball. I grew up loving baseball, you know? That's the stuff they should have been fixing this year, fixing the game, not all the money or whatever the crap they're arguing about now. And these freaking owners who keep saying they don't have any money is bull crap. We went through the pandemic where we only played 60-some games and none of them lost any money. Don't give me that. I get so I get so irritated with these small market teams say they don't have any money. If you don't have any money, sell the team. If you're losing money, then why the hell do you still own the team? Sorry, you're not losing money. You're not. You're just not spending enough to compete. And you want to go and yes, I know the Dodgers and Yankees spend way more money than the Reds do. I'm not saying that that's what the Reds should do, but 3 years ago they spent a lot of money, but all of a sudden they can't. It's bull crap. Yeah, Bengals Brewers, stop the damn shift. Yeah, it's well, okay. Stop the shift. I don't know. Here's an idea. If there's the third baseman is that shortstop and that third base line is completely wide open, hit the ball down there. Bunt it. But no, these idiots keep swinging as hard as they can into the shift. What? Does that make any sense to anybody? If you bunt the ball down the third base line, you do it every single time, or the first base line, you're on base. You do that 4 consecutive times. Hell, it's a run. It's at least action. But they won't do it. I don't. It's to me, it's like when I was a little kid playing baseball. If that they did that to you, my coach would have said bunt it. And if you didn't, you wouldn't have been playing. You know, I know it's Major League Baseball and I'm talking Little League, but that's basic stuff that these professional baseball players won't do. That's the stuff to me they got to fix. And Rob Manfred wants to put a time clock in and do all this other stuff. No, put the ball in play. If there's action, the game gets better. It does. You know, that's the stuff that should have been fixed and not whatever the hell they're arguing about now. But it doesn't matter. Like I said, we're not going to have baseball. Like I said, we might not have it till May. I think we'll be lucky if we have it by May with these idiots. And Rob Manfred is the worst commissioner ever. I know people don't like Roger Goodell. I actually think Roger Goodell is probably one of the best commissioners. I know people get upset with the way he runs stuff, but look at his league. I know people say you just get out of the way and it's, you know, he doesn't have to do a whole lot. Trust me, he could screw it up. If Rob Manfred was the commissioner of the NFL, it would be screwed up because Rob Manfred has completely screwed this thing up. I don't even know if he's ever watched baseball before or cares about it. I don't even know. I don't know what that guy thinks. It just kills me. 3 years in a row, we're not going to have a normal opening day. Are you kidding me? Anyway, that's why I'm excited about the combine. We got the combine coming up. We got college basketball. We got March Madness coming up here soon. You know, whatever. Crip, what you got here? You're like, I'm going to miss the beer cup towers. I love seeing that in the stands. Hey, you won't have that? You know, hell, hey, watch a USFL. Crip, we can start our own beer cup stand at our house. I guess I don't know. It's just I cannot understand why the owners and players seem like they're hell bent on destroying this game. It's going downhill. It is going downhill. And you think people didn't care after 94? You do this again, people really aren't going to care. I mean, you struggled to get people in the stands. The Reds struggled to get people in the stands last year. Do you realize that? And they had a winning team because of the year before. I know we had a pandemic, but they could have started earlier. They waited till August because they were arguing about money. They started later than they could have. So then Bob Castellini doesn't spend any money to make the team any better. Nobody shows up. Bob, look at the Bengals. Spent money, and I know it's you can turn a football team around faster than you can a baseball team. I understand that. But when you did what you did in the offseason of 2020, and then the next 2 years you don't do anything, and then the owners just take baseball away, they don't care if they don't play. They don't make money on it. They're not. If they were worried about losing money, they wouldn't cancel games, right? You know, it doesn't matter. Like, oh, we're losing money. Oh, so what's the best thing to do? Oh, let's not play, so we get no money. And you're screwing all the cities out in Arizona and Florida. All these cities who rely on this money to come in for their little towns for spring training. You're screwing them. You don't care. Anyway. Andrew, what's up? He said something here. Crypt Keeper, I do wonder if the video James sent me was his third or fourth take until he cooled down about Palmer. Oh God. I have to watch this. I have to watch this video. I gotta see what it is. Let's see here. I'll get that out of here. Hold on. Block you. Go away. A salary cap would fix a lot of it. But they'd have to spend to it. I don't think a salary cap would fix it. If you have a salary cap and your owner still isn't going to spend to the salary cap, I don't think it's going to fix it. I mean, that's what everybody keeps saying. But I mean, the hell, the Bengals, they got a salary cap. I mean, they don't spend all the way up to it. You got other ones to spend over it. I mean, I still don't think that's going to fix making small market teams saying we can't compete. That's their crutch. They've had this crutch that they keep saying they can't compete, yada, yada. And it's not true. It's not true. They can compete. They choose not to. All right, Greg. Until they do blackouts again, hard to sell the expensive tickets when you can watch it at home. Hated when they made that. Yeah, well, yes and no. I'll put it this way. Because in 1990, when the Reds won the World Series, that's when Sports Channel came out. And that's the version of Fox Sports Net and Bally's and all that stuff. When that came out, they had a ton of games on there. You could watch them all then too. People still went to the game. People still want to go and have a dog and a beer and enjoy a baseball game. There's a difference. Yes, it's easier to sit at your house and do it. But Greg, I think if they win and they consistently win and you have hope, like Bengals fans, we have hope. We think we're going to win for the next 5 to 7 years. If the Bengals the Reds could bring that hope that we're a winning team and in the playoffs and fighting for a World Series for the next 7 years, people are going to go to the game. They're going to, because it's experience. It's fun being at the games. So I understand what you're saying, but I don't totally agree. You got to have a winning product. You got to do this. And them and other small market teams keep claiming they don't have any money. It's crazy. Haas. Still got to love Jonathan India. Go Reds. Yeah. I love Jonathan India. He's ticked off that they're not playing. If you saw his tweet. Keith. I keep hearing about developing players on the you're talking about Bengals here. I keep hearing about developing players on the Bengals O-line. Bengals cannot go another year trying to develop O-line players. Well, I'm just saying, I'll put it this way. I could see, let's just say they do what Pac-Man says, and they sign Ryan Jensen. And I'm telling you, if they sign a center, I'm telling you, Trey Hopkins is kicking over to guard. Or he's going to compete for guard. Okay, so then let's say they sign a right tackle. Because I would love them to sign, 3. All right, let's go with 3. Say they sign a right tackle, they say they sign another guard. Well, then there's a competition between Trey Hopkins, DeAndre Smith, and Jax Carman for that other guard. That's the way it's going to be. And like I said, if you sign 3 guys, say it's 2 tackles and a guard. Then, you got Trey Hopkins center, you got Jonah guard. You still got a competition for the other guard. They're going to have a competition for one of the guard spots. They're going to. It's just a matter of, I think that's why I keep saying, go get the center and go get a tackle, go get one other guard, and then you have all 3 of those positions established and stable. Yes, you have a competition at guard. Hopefully Jackson Carman can make a jump. Hopefully Deontay Smith can make a jump. Who knows? I do think they're going to make a jump in the second year. But I do think there's going to be a competition at one of the guard spots. I do. I just think it. Let's see here. Ken. First year, Burrow injured. Second year, 70 sacks. Burrow injured again. Love the Reds, but they got to get better pitching. They got to get better pitching, defense, a better bench, a better bullpen. There's a lot of stuff the Reds have got to get. So anyway, that just to wrap up what I'm saying about the offensive line. For some reason, all the noise I'm hearing, I got a feeling they're going to sign a center. I got a feeling they're going to sign a tackle. I don't know if they're going to sign a guard. I hope they do, but don't be surprised. Trey Hopkins is one of your starting guards, and Jackson Carman and Deontay Smith are fighting out for the other guard. But that's still a better offensive line than what we had last year. I'm not saying we all should be happy with it, but if it protects Joe, then I don't think any of us will care. So anyway, those are my thoughts. We'll see what happens. I don't know who's coming on the show tomorrow. Who is tomorrow? I think Sands. Oh, yeah. Bengal Sands is coming on tomorrow. So he's a great follow on Twitter. You guys can check him out. And let me get to the Facebook groups that let me live stream. And as always, I appreciate every single one of them. They're Houday Nation, Houday Legion, Cincinnati Reds riding third, heading for home. Bearcat Country, Bearcat Ruck is the Ohio State Bucknuts, the Ice Bar. And you can follow me on all my social media platforms, all on under Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm on Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. Twitter is at Jeff A. Trinopole. TikTok is at Iceman90. Just look up Sports Strawberries. It'll pop up. If you missed any of the interview with Andrew Foxmiller, like I said, he's a producer for James Rapine on his channel, and you want to listen to it, can't watch it, check it out on the podcast. It'll be up there later on tonight. It's on BeanPod, Apple iTunes, Spotify, Google, Stitcher Play, pretty much wherever you get your podcast. Please make sure you rate, like, and review, and leave a comment so more Cincinnati fans can find my podcast. YouTubers, like I said, we're at 1,507, which is awesome. I've been kind of stuck there for about 3 days now. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors. Sports Strawberry Ice. Subscribe. Let's try to get to 2,000. Let's try to get to 2,000 before the football season. So September. So it's March 1st. So from March to September, let's try to get to 2,000 subscribers for me. I would greatly appreciate it. And other than that, I think I'm going to go back and watch the Combine some more. You guys have a great night. Oh, Bearcats are playing tonight. Go watch them hopefully beat Houston. I'll probably watch them too, but they don't start till 9 o'clock. I hope they win, but they haven't looked very good lately. So watch the Bearcats, watch Combine. Come watch me tomorrow. Check out James' show and his channel and everything that Andrew does for him, because we all know James does not appreciate Andrew. We know this. Give Andrew some love. And that's just sports, baby. See ya!
Let's go. In the night, stripes in our veins, sparks gonna fly. The beast disobeyed, orange, black and white. Cause when the jungle come alive, Houday, we ignite in Cincinnati, we gon' rise in the jungle, we unite in dripping orange and black and white. Houday, when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Wake up the beast, everything day is a feast. Time to bust it off the leash. In the jungle, dripping heat. Tigers strike the city streets. East side, stand up. West side, stand up. If you reppin' Houday, time to put your hands up. Single stripes, we in it. New day, new age, yeah, we get it. Cincinnati jungle fitted. Houday in our house, we win it. Orange and black and white, we build it. Earn our stripes, you know we kill it. Bleed our colors, jungle dripping. Nasty, natty, yeah, we live it. Lit the crowd, get the city loud. Yeah, we feasting now. Fit the pounce. Make the city howl, now we beastin' now. Thunder through the tunnel, from the sideline to the huddle. Stripes we tatted on the jungle when we flex that Houday muscle on them. Stripes, Cincinnati, we gon' rise in